بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Aku cek keluar teh. What time is Asar?
What I was saying, make them not here.
Yeah, what time is Asar?
Asar here in our masjid is 4:15. Shafi.
حاضر. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ألهمنا مراشد أمورنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. In the Kitab of Hadith, in the chapters regarding Al-Fitan, trials that the Ummah will see before the coming of Qiyamah, Imam Tirmidhi rahimullah establishes a chapter, Babu ma ja'a satakunu fitnatun ka qita'il layli al-muzlimi. So how we will explain this? This is a majlis of hadith. Once upon a time when people got together, it was listening to Quran and explanation of Quran. It was listening to one hadith or two ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was all that they wanted to hear. What Allah said, what my Nabi said. There would be gatherings in the masjid. It was these two sources which are the sources of light, the Quran and the Sunnah. They would listen to the word properly. They would try to remember it. Whenever somebody else tells you something, you become upset. But when someone who loves you says something, you listen. People are fighting and a teacher comes who they're all close to. Then when he talks, because of love, everyone listens. When a sheikh talks, all the murids listen. Love. The greatest love the world has is for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the greatest love we have is for the Creator, Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. It is these two sources of knowledge that even if it is hard on the nafs, love makes people accept. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave a lot of warnings regarding the end of times. What will the Ummah experience right at the ending? We are the people who are seeing right at the ending. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would say, don't wait for it to happen. Many a person says, I'm waiting for the era where the Dajjal will show himself. Every day as we are now moving, we are already in 2024. In the world of the shayateen, 2030 is a very, very big date. That's only 6 years from now.
It's not okay. The sound is not going to the BBC.
At all. Find out now. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke a lot about fitan. What will happen before the final day? As we move closer to the coming of the Mahdi, the Dajjal showing himself to the world, the coming of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. But before that date, there will be a lot of dark. Dark means difficult. In darkness there's two. One is difficulty, one is the absence of light. At the moment the wars that the Muslim world are seeing, that's called darkness, difficulty. But in that darkness, whoever passes away as a martyr. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam would say, Dajjal will come with fire and he will come with a garden. But whoever will go into his fire, meaning whichever person will die because of the fitna that he will create, he said he will go straight into the paradise of Allah. Those that are passing away in the lands of Gaza and in the thousands, every one of them get blessed with the highest levels of Shahada. So one is that darkness which we all see. It is not easy, it's difficult. And there's another darkness where you live physically through the darkness but you die spiritually. You sell your deen for the things of this world. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never ever warned his ummah against death. Rather, he himself and they would all make dua. They would make dua for shahada. I must not pass away at home. The enemy must kill me. Some of them would go more. The enemy must cut me into pieces. For death, in the path of Allah, it was the honor. But a spiritual death, this is what comes in the real chapters which is known as Al-Fitan. بادروا بالأعمال فتنا كقطع الليل المظلم is a hadith many of us have heard. That before those trials come, which will be like a dark night, start doing something. Before those trials come, which are like a dark night, start doing something. Because when those trials come, a believer, one day he will be a believer, but after a while he will be found as a disbeliever. So to explain this hadith now, Imam Tirmidhi rahimahullah brings two ahadiths. Actually one hadith and one saying of Al-Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah, the famous tabi'i who drank miraculously the milk of the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Hasan al-Basri. Why we say miraculously is because a woman gets milk. When she falls pregnant, she has a child, then milk naturally is created. But when a woman has no child, she's past that age, there's no milk in her breast. Hasan al-Basri, his mother was working in the house of one of the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it happened that the mother was not there and he started crying for milk. So from the Azwaj Mutahharat, one of them took him and put him to the breast to keep him pacified. And miraculously milk was created for him. So he drank from what we will call the barakah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was the beginning, and milk in the world of dreams is regarded as knowledge. Hasan al-Basri then became the leading scholar of the Tabi'in. He will explain this hadith which we have heard many times, before the coming of fitna, do something. But to explain now how it happened, what made it being said, Imam Tirmidhi rahimahullah first brings this narration. Salama radiallahu anha is the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. She says Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam woke up one night. Istayqadha laylatan. He woke up. Something he had seen in his dream. The dream of a Nabi is wahi. Many a times out of his dream he would see many things, many a time in his dream. He says, Subhanallah. Subhanallah, normally you say it when you see something that amazes you. ماذا أنزل الليلة من الفتنة ماذا أنزل من الخزائن. He says tonight, but what it means in my dream, he's seeing what's going to be happening in the future. He says, you won't understand those trials that I saw being brought down on my ummah. He said, you won't understand. And then together with that, you won't understand those treasures that I saw being sent on my ummah. See the two. Treasures make the world very happy. But he saw the treasures coming together with the trial. He saw the treasure coming together with the trial. He said, if you can only understand what the trial is. But he said, but if only can understand what the treasure is. What he saw on that night would make him later on say to his Sahaba that don't you ever fear poverty. I don't fear poverty on you. He said, I fear when the world will give out its treasures, to give it to you. And how he said it. Look at the world and the wealth of the world, the wealth of the Arab. Look at the wealth of the Arab. Drowning in wealth, drowning. It became proverbial. They used to make a joke. They said this Arab youngster was sent to Berlin or Germany, wherever it was, to study, Arab youngster. So as he's studying, he writes his father a letter that, Daddy, it's very nice in this country, the weather is very good, the atmosphere, environment. He says the only problem is every time when I go to university and I come with my Land Rover. So as I'm parking my Land Rover, he said, I feel shy because my professors, they're coming by train. My professors are coming by train, I'm pulling up in a Land Rover. So his father, this is proverbial, I don't know whether it's true, but this is the wealth of the Arab. Where his father is supposed to write, oh my son, you know what, learn from your professors. His father doesn't understand the letter. So his father sends him a $10 million check. He says, my son, don't make us feel shy. Don't embarrass us in front of foreigners. Go buy a train. Go buy one train. Now, that's the wealth. Now you might say it's a joke. That is the wealth that opened up for the Arabs. That is the wealth. And if you want to pitch up in a train also, you go buy the train. They coming with the train, you come with the train, your train. But don't make us feel embarrassed. The wealth of the world, Allah's Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, Wallah, I don't fear poverty on you. He says, but I fear when the wealth will open up. It will destroy you like it destroyed the people of the past. It will destroy you. When we just look at the condition of the world today, won't you say, وَصَدَقَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If someone has to ask which Arab today is faithful to his cause, it will be said the one who has no wealth. You will see some who are living in Palestine, Al-Aqsa, no wealth. Their shop is in that part of Masjid Al-Aqsa, that if they are ready to sell it, they'll be the biggest billionaire in the world. Small shop. And if they're not selling it, they're seeing their family one by one being taken away. They got a land in Al-Aqsa, ready to sell it, go live nicely in the Western world. Allah put something in their heart that I'll live in poverty, but I'll not sell the house of Allah. I won't sell it. And as for the one who went behind wealth, the wording was going to come, he would sell his deen for the things of this world. He would sell his deen for the things of this world. That Arab who sold out, if you have to go visit his family in the Western worlds, and someone has to say to you, he's an Arab, you will not pick up, he's an Arab, she's an Arab. You will see young girls who are competing with the girls of Europe in showing off more of their body. You will speak to them about Islam, they'll feel shy. Perhaps they had a house right by the Kaaba, they'll feel shy. They don't want to hear of the Kaaba. You say, have you ever gone for Umrah? They don't want to hear, it was free for them Umrah. يَبِيعُ دِينَهُ بِعَرَضٍ مِّنَ الدُّنْيَا. Normally when you will hear it, you will feel, how could they do that? Allah's Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam never wanted us now to think of somebody else. He wanted to warn us also, let us not make the same mistake. They are those who when they saw the treasures coming, they never realized that the trial comes together with it. So they opened their hand for the treasure instead of saying, A'udhu Billah, I seek Allah's protection. They said, MashaAllah. That's how it is. Say MashaAllah, meaning life starts now. But it's not always when ease comes, it's MashaAllah. 20 years down the line, you say, Inna Lillah. Then what happened to this family? Someone will say, I know this family, they were so good. They will say, it happened like that. It happened. They were so simple, they were so good, they were living in the village. The boy was such a genius. The father said, "You got a great future, let's move to the city." They went to the city, he went to school, he was so innocent. He never knew there's something called drugs. He never knew there's pornography. He never knew evil. She never knew evil. My daughter is excelling, she must become someone. She'll be a doctor, she'll be a lawyer. The parents were so simple, the mother never went outside without a scarf. But they always had the desire, my children must star in the world. They must grab the treasures of the world. When they want diamonds, they must be able to get it. They want to wear gold and jewelry, they must be able to. I have to do for my parents, for my children. I never have it. I lived in a simple life. I'll give my children the best. What a dream it was. That when the best has to come, it comes with trials also. He said, wow, what fitna came down tonight. He said, what treasures came down tonight. They go together. Then he said, "May yuqidhu sawahib al-hujurat." Who will go and wake up my wives? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying to Salama, he's spending the night with her. He said, who will wake up the other wives? Go and wake them up. Meaning say to them, engage in tahajjud. Engage in tahajjud. Why? Remember the wording in the hadith was badiru. Before the trial comes, you have to find Allah. Before the trial comes, you have to find Allah. What is the trial? We don't know what the trial is, but he said that trial comes together with wealth. So we all know wealth. He says, before the coming of wealth, you have to find Allah. He said, wake them up for the tahajjud. If they haven't yet found Allah, meaning I fear on my own wives also, that when this fitna will come, it will change the minds of people. This fitna, it will make them only worried of the outside. They will forget of the inside. But tahajjud, standing in front of Allah, at the time when no one is seeing one, that makes one remember the inside and forget the outside. It is that time of the night when no one is looking at you and you seeing none. It is that time of the night where you have to fight your desire to sleep. You have to make wuzu and there's no company. It is that time of the night where whatever you say, your heart is listening to it. Greatest tarbiyah, nurturing, islah, greatest takes place on the musalla at the time of darkness. Tahajjud. He said, who will wake up my wives? Who wake them up? Put them on the musalla. Why? Because whoever is on the musalla, habitual to Allah, finding Allah, wealth came to them also. But when they already found Allah, when the wealth opened up to the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wealth opened up. It never changed them. It never changed them. They saw the wealth. It came and they distributed. They would distribute so much that by the night time, if there was no food for them to break their roza also, they were not bothered. It never changed their clothing. Aisha radiallahu anha, they said to her, oh our mother, someone is getting married. Everyone is wearing new clothing. You're still wearing your patch clothing. She smiled. Not because she never had wealth. She said, I made a promise to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, my husband, that when he meets me, he will find me in the same condition in which he left me. Meaning the world will not change me. They found Allah before the world opened up its treasures. He said, wake up my wives, put them on the musalla. Because a woman especially, when wealth opens up, fashion opens up. Fashion. Once upon a time, she had 3 pairs of clothing and 1 pair of shoes. Wealth opens up. Now for every cloth, there's a matching scarf. There's a matching shoe, there's a matching watch, there's a matching handbag. There's nothing wrong with it. But fashion makes one so worried of the outside that you become oblivious of the inside. Still there's nothing wrong with it. It's halal. But fashion makes you desirous of more. Still there's nothing wrong with it. When you become desirous of more and you can't get more through halal, you will be ready to take it through haram. Haram might just be stealing. Haram might even be taking someone's inheritance. Haram might even be killing someone to get your share. Again, let's do this again. When wealth comes, especially in women, it brings about the desire of fashion. I must look good. The house must look good. The bedroom must be smart. The kitchen must be smart. The bathroom must be smart. So smart it must be, I can have 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, one for using, one for showing. Everything got to do with fashion. It must just get smarter. Anything wrong with it? No, it's your wife, your husband, his wealth, no problem. But when desires which are in this world, you can't satiate it. The woman who got the best of the country will look at the best of another country. She won't be happy. She'll want to go higher, and the world, as you go higher, the price gets higher. There's still nothing wrong. You become oblivious of your inside. You're not worried about jealousy, not having jealousy, love, generosity, kindness, all gone. You're only worried about my outside. How do people see me? Still nothing wrong. But if I can't fulfill my lust, my passion, my wants through halal, it doesn't matter, take it through haram. What difference it makes? What difference? Time might come where one will kill her own mother, her own sister for the wealth. So what? A time will come where someone will say, are you not fearing Allah? And the person will say, don't tell me about Allah. Yabi'u. They sold the entire Islam just for a little bit of this world. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, watch out when this trial will come. رُبَّ كَاسِيَةٍ فِي الدُّنْيَا عَارِيَةٍ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. He said, how many I have seen, meaning in his dream, this is what he saw. This was a bayaan for the wives. That's why he said it to his first wife, Salama. Then he said to her, go wake up my other wives, put them on the musalla. This was a bayaan for the wives. What he said? He said, how many I saw, meaning in his dream, that they were wearing such smart clothing. Kasiya, wearing clothing. How many wearing such smart clothing in this world? Ariyatan fil akhirah. I found them totally naked in the year after. Totally naked. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, when this trial will come, a person will be known as a believer, but it will leave him as a disbeliever. Hassan al-Basri now explains. He says, the meaning of this hadith is, يُصْبِحُ مُحَرِّمًا لِدَمِ أَخِيهِ وَعِرْضِهِ وَمَالِهِ. That there's a time where this person is simple. He understands his limits, she understands her limits. In the limits, and this happens normally when the world hasn't opened itself. When people are simple, when there's simplicity, there's love in families. A lot of love. They can get together, they can sleep in the same house. They can be there for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. There's no jealousy, there's no hatred, there's no anger, there's no showing off. Everyone is close. He says the period is muharriman, where the girl, the boy understands the blood of my brother. Brother means for the boy, for the girl, sister. Sister means real brother, sister, and Islamic brother, sister. The blood of my brother, the honor of my brother, the wealth of my brother is haram. They understand it. So many years they understood it. I won't interfere with his wife. I won't interfere with his business. I won't interfere with his honor, his izzat. I won't speak against him. But then the treasure opens up. Then the world opens itself. Now each one gets their own business. Now they're doing well. You would think now that more wealth comes, more love's supposed to come. Allah's Nabi said, I saw when the treasure came down, the trial came down with it. He said, وَيُمْسِي Hassan al-Basri said, then comes the time. The hadith mentions the morning, the night. But he said one period in his life, one period. Then comes the time where that very same person regards the blood of his brother as halal. The honor of his brother as halal. The wealth of his brother as halal. And in that day he loses his entire iman. What Hassan al-Basri explained this hadith is that when treasures open up to a family, and that lust and desire and passion for more comes, then to be able to get the more, the person, girl or boy knows no limits. If they can get it from halal sources, they'll take it. If they have to take the honor of their own family, they'll take it also. Everything becomes this world, everything. What lesson me and you learned is our nature is we are desirous of good. Who's not desirous? Khair, a lot of wealth, a good business, a good house. I don't want a simple, I want it to be a little bit comfortable, nice. Who's not desirous? Allah's Nabi Sallallahu said, don't make haram what is halal. It's halal. But what an advice he gave. Before it comes, find Allah. Before it comes, find the musalla. Before it comes, learn about your inside, because when it comes, it only speaks about your outside. If you have connected to Allah before temptations and treasures come, we will save ourselves from fitan. If we're waiting for the good days of this world to come, before finding Allah, بَادِرُوا بِالْأَعْمَالِ فِتَنًا كَقِطَعِ اللَّيْلِ الْمُظْلِمِ. Before it comes, you start finding Allah. Because if you don't find Allah and it comes, it will make a believer into a disbeliever. May Allah Tabarakala protect every one of us. Our iman is the biggest capital we have brought. It is on this capital we have to make fruits, and we have to take the capital back. You go backward this capital, we will enter a world in which there will be treasures with no trials. Treasures with no trials. If we lose this iman and we take the treasures and we sell iman, we will enter a world where there's darkness with no light. There'll be trials, there'll be no treasures. There'll be difficulties, there'll be no ease. You will be told, خَسِرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. The angel will say, أَلَمْ يَأْتِكُمْ رُسُلٌ. Did a Nabi, did Lord Anbiya, did the message not come to you? They will be rebuking, criticizing, cursing, anger. And if a person finds Allah before the coming of treasures, you will enjoy the best of this world, but you will not lose the year after. Allah Tabarakala allow. We are still, your Mombasa is very simple. Very simple compared to the rest of the world. But this world is so fast moving that even the simple villages no longer are remaining simple. Where the phone has come, it has changed a lot of things. Lives, houses, minds. How it was in the past, where from villages people wanted to go to the city. From cities they wanted to go overseas. Everyone wanted a better life. In the better life they went looking for treasures. They never knew treasures come with trials. We must not make the same mistake. Before going treasure hunting, first we look for the creator of treasures. He who finds Allah before the coming of treasures will be protected from trials. He who finds treasures before Allah will fall into the trap. Allah save us all. He could easily lose his iman and fall into kufr. وصلى الله على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. Allah, safety is from you, peace is from you, protection from every calamity, protection from every fitna, protection from every trial is from you. Allah, you are Al-Hafiz, Allah, you are Al-Muqit. Allahumma waqiyatan kawaqiyatil walid. How a father, how a mother grabs hold onto the small child to move the child out of the way of harm. Allah, we ask you to grab hold of every one of us and take us away from harm. Allah, we ask you to protect our hearts, to protect our minds, to protect our iman, to protect our Islam, to protect us, to protect our spouses, to protect our families, our parents, Allah, to protect our children, Allah, to protect our grandchildren. رَبِّ اجْعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ. Oh Allah, let us be those who establish the salah. وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي. Allah, let our children be those who establish the salah. Allah, protect us from the fire of Jahannam. Allah, protect our families from the fire of Jahannam. Let the thrill for this world, Allah, not be the only thing in our mind. لَا تَجْعَلِ الدُّنْيَا أَكْبَرَ هَمِّنَا. Let this world not be our greatest concern. لا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا غاية رغبتنا. Allah, let this world not be the thing that we are only desirous of. ولا غاية رغبتنا ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا. Allah, let that enemy not come above us, who shows no mercy to us, who oppresses us, who forces us into doing what we do not want to do. Allah, by force, let them not pull us towards kufr. And Allah, let it not be that happily we walk towards kufr. Allah, hold on to us. Allah, grab us. Allah, pull us towards you. Allah, as you have shown us Sirat al-Mustaqim, Allah, we beg you that you allow us to walk on Sirat al-Mustaqim. Allah, allow us to live as a believer. Oh Allah, allow us to die as a believer. Allah, allow us to live as a believer. Oh Allah, allow us to die as a believer. Oh Allah, bless us with the best of character. Allah, bless us with the ilm of Quran and Sunnah. Allah, bless us to be able to see light in the era of darkness, to be able to see the truth and to be able to see what is false, to be able to follow that which is right, to be able to stay far from that which is wrong. Oh Allah, grant protection to our hearts, grant protection to our minds, grant protection to our Islam, grant protection to our Iman. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.